Picture this. You're lying in bed next to the person you love. The room is quiet, the lights are soft, everything feels perfect until the moment comes, and nothing happens. Suddenly, that warm intimacy you were expecting turns into a cold silence. You feel your stomach sink. A wave of shame creeps over you, and then that tiny, cruel voice whispers in your ear, maybe this is it. Maybe I'll never get it back again. If you've ever felt that crushing moment, you're not alone. In fact, studies show that over 70% of men past the age of 60 face erectile dysfunction in some form. That's more than 2 out of every 3 men. And yet most never talk about it. They keep it hidden, bottled up, convinced that they're broken, or that the best days of their life are over. But let me tell you something. That belief is not only wrong, it's dangerous. Why? Because it steals the very thing every man needs. Most hope. My name is Dr. Moit Kara. I'm a urologist and men's health specialist with more than 30 years of experience helping men just like you restore their confidence, their intimacy, and their vitality. I've looked into the eyes of men who felt defeated, who thought nothing could ever change. I've seen the despair, but I've also seen the transformation. I've watched men walk back into my clinic just weeks later with a sparkle in their eyes, a bounce in their step, and marriages reignited with passion they thought was long gone. And here's the paradox. The world has told you that the only way to fix this is with a pill, a little blue tablet from the pharmacy. Sure, it gives you a quick effect, but let me ask you, does it heal the root problem? No. Pills only mask the issue. They put a band-aid over a wound that keeps reopening, and once that pill wears off, the fear, the doubt, and the disappointment all come rushing back. What most men don't realize is this. The real solution has been hiding in plain sight, waiting for thousands of years. It's natural, it's safe, and it's been quietly used in cultures across the world to support male vitality and sexual health. I'm talking about natural, oils, powerful, plant-based extracts that can actually reverse erectile dysfunction, not just cover it up. Today, I'm going to share with you 9 extraordinary oils that have been shown to restore blood flow, balance your hormones, and reignite sensitivity in ways you may not have felt in years. And here's the kicker: the 9th oil, the one we'll talk about last, is so powerful that many men describe the experience as feeling like they've been given a brand new manhood in as little as 7 days. So stay with me, because this might just be the turning point you've been waiting for, the moment your story changes. But before we dive in, I want to invite you to do 2 simple things. First, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss advice designed specifically for men in their 60s and beyond. Second, I'd love to hear from you personally. If this message speaks to you, if you've felt that sinking moment I described earlier, drop a 1 in the comments. And if you'd like me to expand on other men's health topics in the future, type a 0. Your feedback helps me shape the content that matters most to you. Now, let's get started. Let's begin with the very first oil, an oil most men completely overlook, but one that holds the spark your body desperately needs. It's simple, it's natural, and it's powerful. I'm talking about pumpkin seed oil, a true foundation for rebuilding male vitality. 1. Pumpkin seed oil. Let's talk about something humble, something you might even walk past in the grocery store without giving it a second glance. Pumpkin seed oil. I like to call it liquid gold for the aging male body. Why? Because it's one of the richest natural sources of zinc. And zinc is absolutely crucial for testosterone production. Think about it this way. Testosterone is the fuel that powers a man's engine. Without enough zinc, that engine sputters, stalls, and eventually shuts down. I can't tell you how many men I've seen walk into my clinic with the same complaints: fatigue, low desire, and poor performance, only to find that their blood shows one thing consistently: dangerously low zinc levels. The truth is, your body can't magically create testosterone out of thin air. It needs raw materials, and pumpkin seed oil delivers them in one of the most bioavailable forms nature has to offer. But here's the part that most people don't realize. Pumpkin seed oil isn't just about zinc. It also contains powerful compounds called phytosterols. These act almost like nature's vascular repair crew, helping improve blood flow into the erectile tissue. And let's be real, at its core, an erection is nothing more than a matter of blood supply. If blood can't flow freely, performance will always fail you at the moment you need it most. But when vessels are relaxed and open, everything changes. Pumpkin seed oil works gently, steadily, to restore that flow. Many of my patients describe noticing differences within just a week. A return of morning firmness, a subtle but powerful boost in energy, a spark of confidence they hadn't felt in years. Personally, I find it remarkable, almost poetic, that something so simple, something that grows quietly in nature, can unlock such profound changes in a man's life. It's a reminder that the body isn't broken. It simply needs the right kind of support. Pumpkin seed oil is the first step in building that foundation. And if you think this sounds powerful, wait until you hear about the next oil. It's been called the cure for everything but death. And when it comes to restoring natural erections, its effects are nothing short of extraordinary. 2. Black seed oil. Black seed oil has often been described in almost mythical terms. In fact, in old manuscripts, it was called the cure for everything except death. That might sound exaggerated, even dramatic, but when it comes to male sexual health, its impact is nothing short of remarkable. So, what makes black seed oil so extraordinary here? The answer lies in a compound called thiaquinone. This little molecule carries enormous influence over your body because it boosts nitric oxide production. Now, you might be wondering, why does nitric oxide matter so much? Here's the truth. Nitric oxide is the messenger, the signal that tells your blood vessels, open up, relax, allow blood to rush in. Without enough of it, your blood vessels stay tight and restricted, and even when the desire for intimacy is there, your body simply struggles to respond. Erections, at their very core, are about healthy blood flow, and nitric oxide is the key that unlocks the door. I remember a patient in his mid-60s who came to me after years of disappointment. He had tried pills, yes. They sometimes gave him short-lived results, but the side effects were brutal: pounding headaches, flushed skin, even heart palpitations. The worst part, the effect never lasted, and the fear of failure kept creeping. Back in, he sat across from me in my office, shoulders heavy, eyes dimmed by exhaustion. I introduced him to black seed oil. I told him, give it time, be patient, let your body adjust, give it a week or two. And when he came back, the change was written all over his face. He smiled, really smiled, for the first time in months. He told me, for the first time in years, I woke up with spontaneous morning erections. I didn't force it. My body just responded on its own. His confidence began to return, but more importantly, his hope returned. That is the beauty of black seed oil. Unlike synthetic solutions, it doesn't fight against your body, it works with it. It gently supports the very pathways nature designed, allowing your system to heal, restore, and perform the way it was always meant to. And as an added gift, black seed oil is loaded with anti-inflammatory properties. Over years, decades, even your blood vessels take a beating from stress, poor diet, lack of exercise, and aging. They become irritated, inflamed, and worn down. Black seed oil soothes that damage, calming the inflammation and clearing the path, so that blood can flow freely again. It's almost as if this oil clears the debris from a blocked river, letting the water rush back with force and vitality. That is why cultures across the world have treasured it for centuries, and why modern science is now confirming what ancient healers seemed to know all along. But remember, this is just the beginning of our journey, because while black seed oil unlocks blood flow, the next oil goes one step further. It not only supports circulation, but also helps your body restore testosterone naturally, giving you back the energy, the drive, and the vitality you thought might be gone forever. 3. Pomegranate seed oil. The pomegranate has long been a symbol of life, fertility, and vitality. In many cultures, it was celebrated as the fruit of renewal, a reminder of abundance and strength. And when you look closely at what its seed oil can do for men, that symbolism makes perfect sense. Pomegranate seed oil is packed with a rare fatty acid called punicic acid, along with some of the most powerful antioxidants nature has to offer. Together, these compounds create a remarkable ability to protect and repair blood vessels, the very lifelines that control your erections. I often tell my patients to imagine their arteries like garden hoses. When a hose is new, water flows freely. But over time, with wear and tear, it can stiffen, crack, or clog. Blood vessels are no different. And just like a hose, when they're stiff or damaged, blood can't move the way it should. That's where pomegranate seed oil comes in. It acts like a repair kit, smoothing, softening, and strengthening those vessels, so that blood can move effortlessly once again. But here's where it gets even more exciting. Pomegranate seed oil doesn't just help with blood flow, it also supports your body's natural ability to restore testosterone. As men age, testosterone levels don't suddenly collapse overnight. They decline slowly, year after year, leaving you with less energy, less drive, and weaker performance. You may not notice it immediately, but over time, it adds up until one day you realize you're living with half the vitality you once had. Pomegranate seed oil encourages your body's own pathways, nudging it to produce testosterone more efficiently, not by forcing it, not by tricking it, but by supporting the systems already within you. I recall one gentleman in his early 70s, who came to me describing his life as if he were living at half speed. He was tired most of the time. Intimacy felt more like a struggle than a joy, and his desire had nearly disappeared. I suggested he incorporate pomegranate seed oil into his routine. Weeks later, he returned, transformed. His energy had surged, his connection with his wife had deepened, and he told me, "I feel like I've regained a part of myself I thought was gone forever." That is the gift of pomegranate seed oil. It doesn't just improve erections, it rebuilds vitality from the inside out. It helps restore not just your physical ability, but your sense of self, your confidence, and your zest for life. And if that story inspires you, just wait, because the next oil on our list may surprise you. At first glance, you might think it's something meant only for women, but in truth, it holds one of the most overlooked secrets for men's sexual health. Inspired for evening primrose oil. When most men hear the words evening primrose oil, their first thought is usually, that's for women, isn't it? And I understand why. It's commonly marketed as a supplement for female hormone balance. But in my years of medical practice, I have witnessed something that surprised even me. Evening primrose oil can have a profound impact on men's intimate health, especially when it comes to restoring sensitivity and the deep pleasure that makes intimacy meaningful. The secret lies in its richness of gammalinic acid GLA, an essential fatty acid that the body cannot produce on its own. Why is that important? Because GLA is vital for the health of your nerves, the very same nerves that run through your penis and allow you to feel touch, arousal, and ultimately, satisfaction. Without healthy nerve function, physical performance may remain possible, but the experience itself can feel hollow. I'll never forget a patient of mine, a 68-year-old man, who spoke to me with a heavy heart. He told me, "Doctor, I can still perform, but the sensations, they're muted. It's like I'm going through the motions, but I don't feel connected anymore." He wasn't complaining about performance failure, he was mourning the loss of intimacy itself. I recommended evening primrose oil. The change wasn't instant, but it was undeniable. Over the following weeks, he noticed sensitivity gradually returning. One day, he described it to me with an analogy I'll never forget. "It feels like I went from listening to a muffled radio to suddenly hearing full, rich sound again." His confidence grew, but more importantly, he felt emotionally reconnected. To his partner, that's the kind of transformation this oil can offer. It doesn't just restore function, it deepens the quality of intimacy, the kind that bonds two people together. Evening primrose oil also plays a role in hormone regulation. It helps balance prostaglandins, natural compounds that influence both arousal and erection quality. In simple terms, it fine-tunes your body's response so that everything feels sharper, stronger, and more satisfying. Imagine adjusting a blurry lens until suddenly everything comes into crystal clear focus. That's the effect many men describe. But as remarkable as that is, our journey doesn't stop with sensitivity alone. Because the next oil I want to share with you works on an entirely different level: your mind. And make no mistake, when it comes to intimacy, the mind can be either your greatest ally or your greatest enemy. 5. Rosemary oil. So many men believe erections are purely a physical event, but in truth, everything begins in the brain. Desire, arousal, focus. If the mind is distracted, anxious, or weighed down by stress, even the healthiest body can struggle to respond. I've spoken with countless patients who told me the same story. "Doctor, my body is capable, but my thoughts sabotage me." They described lying beside their partner, wanting to connect, yet their minds were elsewhere, on work, on bills, on tout. Instead of being fully present, they felt like bystanders in their own bedrooms. That's why rosemary oil is so remarkable. Yes, it's familiar to many because of its aroma in the kitchen. But beyond that scent lies powerful compounds that improve circulation directly to the brain. What does that mean? Sharper focus, clearer thinking, a calm mind that allows a man to be truly present in the moment, free from the noise of worry. I remember one gentleman in his early 60s who told me he felt like a spectator during intimacy, always half distracted, never fully engaged. I suggested rosemary oil not just to take as a supplement, but as a daily ritual. Each morning he massaged a few drops into his temples, breathing deeply, allowing the aroma to clear his mind. When he returned weeks later, his words stuck with me. "Doctor, I didn't just get better erections, I got my confidence back." His wife noticed the change too. She told him he was more attentive, more focused, more connected than he had been in years. Their intimacy, which had felt like it was fading, began to bloom again. Another hidden gift of rosemary oil is its ability to help regulate DHT, dihydrotestosterone, a derivative of testosterone. Now, testosterone is crucial for male vitality, but too much DHT can actually work against you, dulling sensitivity and interfering with performance. Rosemary oil helps maintain the right balance, allowing you to keep your masculinity strong, while also protecting the very function that intimacy depends on. And if you think supporting the mind is powerful, imagine pairing that with an oil that lowers inflammation throughout the body and calms stress right at its roots. That is exactly what the next oil brings, an oil so treasured that it has been valued for thousands of years, not just for the body, but for the spirit as well. 6. Frankincense oil. For thousands of years, frankincense has carried an almost mystical presence. In ancient temples, its smoke rose toward the heavens, believed to cleanse the spirit and restore balance. It was not only a sacred ritual, but also a healing practice, as early healers intuitively sensed its power to calm both body and soul. What they could only feel, modern science has now begun to confirm. Frankincense contains compounds that ease inflammation and melt away stress, to invisible enemies that silently erode a man's sexual vitality. I often remind my patients that stress is not just in your head, it is chemistry. Every spike of anxiety or wave of worry releases cortisol, a hormone that directly interferes with testosterone production and restricts blood flow. Over time, this silent cycle wears men down, erections weaken, confidence falters, and many are left frustrated, as though their own body has turned against them. Frankincense oil breaks that cycle. Its boswellic acids act like firefighters, cooling the flames of chronic inflammation that quietly damage nerves blood vessels, and even the prostate. At the same time, its aroma and active compounds work on the nervous system itself, soothing tension, lowering cortisol, and allowing the body to return to a state where intimacy feels natural again. I once had a patient in his 70s who confided that he had nearly given up on intimacy altogether, not because his body was incapable, but because his mind was constantly on edge, like a taut string ready to snap. When he began diffusing frankincense at night, something shifted. He reported deeper, more restful sleep, and with it, a surprising return of natural erections. The relief in his voice when he shared his experience was unforgettable, like listening to a man who had finally laid down a heavy burden he had carried for years. Frankincense reminds us of an often overlooked truth. Confidence in the bedroom is not only about blood flow, it is about peace of mind. When stress loosens its grip, the body remembers how to respond. And yet, as powerful as that lesson is, there is another oil that takes things even further. One that doesn't just calm the mind, but actually enhances how your very testosterone receptors work, restoring energy, desire, and sensitivity you may have thought were gone forever. 7. Sandalwood oil. There is something timeless about sandalwood. Its warm, grounding fragrance has been used in rituals for thousands of years, inspiring clarity, focus, and vitality. But for men struggling with sexual performance, sandalwood oil offers benefits that go far beyond its scent. Deep inside the body, it influences the way your cells respond to testosterone. You see, testosterone levels alone don't tell the full story. Even if your numbers look fine on paper, it won't matter if your body can't use the hormone effectively. Think of testosterone as a key and your receptors as locks. If the locks are stiff or rusted, the key can't open the door. Sandalwood oil works like a polish, restoring and strengthening those locks so that the testosterone you already have can do its job at full capacity. I recall working with a man in his late 60s who had spent years chasing higher testosterone levels through supplements and injections. His blood tests showed improvement, but in real life, nothing changed. His energy stayed low, his desire weak, and his erections unreliable. When we introduced sandalwood oil, he expected little, but within weeks, he was astonished. He described it as though his body had finally started listening to the testosterone. His energy lifted, his erections grew firmer, and his confidence returned. It wasn't about forcing more hormones into his system. It was about helping his body use what was already there, and there is more. Sandalwood has another gift. It enhances nerve sensitivity in the genital area, an ability that often fades. With age, that creeping dullness, when sensations no longer feel as sharp as they once did, can quietly rob intimacy of its joy. Sandalwood helps restore that sensitivity. Many of my patients describe intimacy as suddenly vivid, again like turning the volume back up after years of muffled silence. No wonder sandalwood has earned its reputation as liquid confidence. But as striking as its effects are, what comes next may surprise you even more. An exotic flower whose oil has the rare power to energize and relax the body at once, balancing desire with calm in a way that few remedies can. 8. Oil. Up until now, we've seen how nature's oils can restore physical energy and circulation. But ylang ylang oil shows us something even deeper. The subtle balance between body and mind. At first you might dismiss it as just a delicate floral note, the kind you'd expect to find in a perfume bottle or a scented candle. Yet behind that sweetness lies a hidden power, especially for men over the age of 60. One of the greatest challenges many men describe to me is performance anxiety. Some feel wound up, nervous, and restless, their minds racing faster than their bodies can keep up. Others experience the opposite, too relaxed, too detached, unable to respond when the moment calls for them. Both situations can be discouraging, creating a cycle of doubt and disappointment. Ylang ylang oil carries a rare ability to bring balance to this very struggle. Think of it as a bridge between two forces. On one side, it gently activates the sympathetic nervous system, sparking desire, encouraging blood flow, and preparing the body for intimacy. On the other side, it soothes the parasympathetic system, melting away tension, quieting anxious thoughts, and easing the weight of expectation. It is like striking the perfect chord on a piano, not too sharp, not too flat, but a harmony of excitement and control. I remember one of my patients vividly, retired teacher in his 70s. He confided that he felt trapped inside his own nerves. He loved his wife dearly, but whenever intimacy approached, anxiety gripped him. And when his body didn't cooperate, that pressure only grew heavier. Together, we introduced ylang oil into his nightly routine. Sometimes it was diffused softly through the bedroom, other times dabbed sparingly on his skin as a natural cologne. Slowly, something began to shift. His body responded with eagerness, yet his mind felt calm. He described the sensation as being ready without being rushed. That subtle change restored his confidence, and with confidence came natural, effortless performance. Ylang oil also supports the adrenal glands, those small but vital organs that quietly shoulder the burden of stress and aging. By helping to restore balance there, the body can redirect energy back to where it truly belongs: sexual health and vitality. And much like some of the other oils we've discussed, Ylang ylang naturally enhances nitric oxide production, improving circulation without the harsh side effects of medication. This is why I often call it the oil of harmony. It brings mind and body back into alignment, softening fear while fueling desire. A gentle but powerful reminder that true strength comes not only from physical readiness, but from inner balance. And yet, as remarkable as ylang ylang is, the final oil I want to share with you stands in a league of its own. It's an oil so potent that men often tell me they feel as though they've turned back the clock within just a single week. 9. Pine needle oil. At last, we come to pine needle oil, simple in appearance, drawn from the very needles of a tree you may have walked past countless times. But inside, these slender green blades are powerful compounds alpha-pinene and beta-pinene that supercharge the way your body uses oxygen. Imagine your cells suddenly running on premium fuel. Instead of regular energy rises, stamina improves. And every organ, especially those tied to intimacy, functions at a higher level. What astonishes me most about pine needle oil, though, is its immediate impact on circulation. It is one of nature's strongest vasodilators, opening blood vessels wide and allowing warm, full blood flow within minutes. Many men who try it describe feeling a tingling warmth, a renewed sensitivity, almost right away, but its benefits don't stop there. Pine needle oil also helps the body use testosterone more effectively and reduces inflammation in the prostate and other sexual organs. Together, these effects create a transformation that feels nothing short of remarkable. I have seen men in their 60s and 70s reclaim confidence they thought was gone forever. They didn't just perform again, they felt alive again. And that, I believe, is the most important message. Your best years are not behind you. With the right natural support, strength, intimacy, and joy can be restored no matter your age. And so, from the gentle harmony of ylang ylang oil to the powerful circulation-boosting strength of pine needle oil, we've seen how nature provides more than just remedies. It offers renewal. Each of these oils reminds us that intimacy, vitality, and confidence are not bound by age, but by how we choose to care for ourselves. If you've ever felt that spark dimming, know this: it doesn't have to stay that way. Nature has already placed these tools within our reach. The question is whether you're ready to take the first step toward balance, energy, and a fuller life. If this message resonates with you, don't let it fade into the background. Take action today. Start small. Explore these natural solutions, and pay attention to how your body responds. You may be surprised at how quickly change can arrive when you support your body the right way. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may also benefit. Your support allows us to keep creating content that empowers people to take charge of their health naturally.